up. Prove it or you forfeit. Got my C64 and we blew it into orbit. M. Bison with 8 straight perfects. Overbold emotions make hate break circuits. In case you heard, it's a named fake service. Optimize our runtime to escape verdicts. Got an integer scope flow that they can't sign. Passing code, didn't sanitize command lines. Landmine. So before they'll see me after, I'm advice star, courage, woke plus velociraptor. Don't prove we're human unless we really have to. My team built schemes that destroy, recapture. Hate what they see. Finish this chapter. By the way, we're not any geeks, we hack into NASA. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring. I'm just waiting till my BlackBerry dies, cause I'll replace it with the Raspberry Pi. Don't compare to this track, it makes everything they said dull. Neutralize any threat, turn Red Skull to Dev Null. They killed virus writers that we mentioned, but instead they ascended to the VX heavens, then reincarnate as live wires. Still inside we hide ciphers and sign device drivers. Which school will we hit next? They didn't learn the format, so we've got to print F. Next step is a chin check. Freestyles that I spit best, they didn't decrypt yet. I crush internet MCs and rhyme battles. Get your Wi-Fi tackled, hacked by pineapple. I don't think you'll like my Snapple, cause I popped it with vodka in a cyanide capsule. We drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things.
You know there's gonna be security, right?
First we drink all the booze, then hack all the things. Then backdoor the firmware on anything you bring, regardless of the hardware, service or encoding. Connected to the internet and someone's gonna own it. This is for the pirates that clap and love the sound. Attacking from the cloud, then we're back in underground. There's no masking from us now. We pop tornadoes around the globe, track and hunt you down. Hacked on schedule, add it to your calendar. Devices online, here comes another challenger. State infiltrated, so undercover. This is for my comrades who stare at the debuggers and trace every buffer. Examining the code flow, haven't been to sleep, better pop another no-dose. I think I'll need a planet-sized urn, cause some men just wanna watch the world burn. Your turn.
We stay out of jail.
Technologically possible, yeah.
Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Got this vodka and this Red Bull, they still give me wings. So we drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. Drink all the booze, hack all the things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring.
I mean, these servers have more firewalls than the devil's bedroom.
Hack all the things. Drink all the booze. Hack all the things. Hack all the things. Hack all the things. Things. 0 through 3, we're in every single ring. Hack all the things.
Yeah, well, good luck, man.
They still give me wings. Drink all the things. Drink all the vodka and pack all the booze. Drink all the booze. Hack all the hackers. Hack all the hackers.
Not every geek with a Commodore 64 can hack into NASA.
This one's dedicated to all the hackers. Yo, even out, settle scores quick.
Now I'm not muted anymore. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. This one is dedicated to all the hackers. As Dual Core Music says, Welcome to UHC, the Ultimate Hacking Championship of tonight. It is our 22nd edition, if I'm not mistaken, which means we've been doing UHC for 22 weeks, y'all. That is a lot of fucking time. But it's been so fun. We had so many nice people around, and we'll continue to have more people around. Just a quick heads up. Next week is gonna be our last UHC of the year. So this one we're almost there. And then after the 20th, we're gonna take a little break, enjoy our holidays, and then we're gonna be back around the 10th of January in 2021. So, hoping for a way, way, way better year, because, low-key, fuck 2020, right? If you haven't heard that song, you should, because it's so bomb. All right, so I'm your host tonight. For those who don't know me, I am Marina Chavada. I am a social engineer. This is the UHC English channel. So for those who don't know, we do have also a Brazilian live stream, because the championship is Brazilian, and the pretty much all the staff is also Brazilian. I am also Brazilian, so you're gonna see me struggle with English throughout the entire night. So please bear with me, be patient, be mindful that I speak also a very difficult language, which is Portuguese from Brazil. Not only Portuguese, it's very specific Portuguese. So UHC CTF is run by Hacking Esports, which is a Brazilian company. The creator, which is who is I don't know, Igor Rincon, founded a Hacking Esports company and turned UHC into its first hacking championship. The plan is to turn CTF into an official esports on the long run, using CTF as a learning platform, engaging as many people as possible during the live streams. So having narrators on a live CTF is something very rare to see. We do believe UHC is kind of a pioneer there. There is a whole set of UHC social media profiles if you want to know more, such as Instagram for news, LinkedIn for partnerships, YouTube for past editions if you want to watch the past editions, Twitter for chatting, and also the Discord server. You can meet all of the players and UHC fans at the Discord server, and they mostly speak Portuguese, but they do speak English as well. I'm also on the Discord server, for example. Everyone is very welcome. You can even play the qualifying round of UHC on the Discord server. So you can win your own chance at playing the CTF live on Twitch, because that's what happens. We do have the qualifying rounds on Saturday, right before the finals. We call this Twitch edition the finals. So everyone, the 10 people that qualifies on Saturday get to play on Twitch tonight. And every week, these are different people. So if you want to play, come at it. Come have fun with us. So yes, if you want to meet new people, play CTF together, or even be part of UHC itself as a competitor, be sure to participate on Discord server, because people there also play other CTFs together as well, such as Hack the Box and Try Hack Me, and every other CTF that you can think of. And that's pretty much it. Follow UHC on social media too to know when we're going live or not. And I would also like to thank our sponsors and partners of tonight, which are Kraussek and Hecate. You can see their logos here. Ooh, there you go. I can do this. Kraussek and Hecate both are Brazilian companies. Kraussek is a web pen testing and web pen testing, kind of like school. It's pretty cool because they have kind of like a Netflix of web hacking content. And they also teach pen testing as well. So if you would like to know more, they're pretty nice. And Kadu, he is from Kraussek, is the dude that develops all the challenges and machines, both for the qualifying round and for the final round as well, for the final today. And this dude is insane. He does that. He does different challenges for the qualifying and for the finals every week. So it's 2 different CTFs every week being made by him, which is nuts. And we do also have Hecate, which is my company. Hecate Inc. Is a marketing and communications, events and trainings agency focused on infosec and tech, because we do know that we struggle a lot to talk about security and to talk about hacking in a way that marketing people and also general crowd understand. And we do have that talent. We are hacking communicators. All right, so thank you all. Thank all the sponsors and thank all the partners. If you want to be a sponsor, if you might know who wants to be a sponsor, please come talk to us. We would love to have new sponsors, because every week we have money prize, cash prize, and that's not cheap. So if you want to participate, we would be very welcomed. All right, so UHC has a pretty huge community. If you want to find people to hire too, that's pretty cool to do, because there's a lot of talented people playing the CTF tonight. As you can see, I'm gonna shut my mouth and I'm gonna bring here my co-host that you all might know. For those who don't know, here he is, this pretty little boy. Hi, sweetie.
Hi. Thanks for calling me pretty.
Because you are a husband. For those who don't know, he's also my husband.
Yeah, official married. Paperwork and everything.
Yep. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. In addition to being Marina's husband, I am Int80, the rapper in dual core. I hack computers and make rap music about it. You can find dual core music all over the internet, pretty much wherever you get music, Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, etc. And for folks asking in the chat, it is even Facebook official. Yes, we are Facebook official married. So if you go to facebook.com/dualcoremusic, you can find my personal profile, and my relationship status is indeed married to Marina. I think that's what really makes it actually official. You know, like the paperwork that could be forged, but I've got, MFA on my Facebook account. So if it's official there, that's the source of truth for sure.
Do you want to talk a little bit about dual core music instead of for Facebook marriage?
Yeah. Also, we normally, without the presence of a pandemic, we play shows all around the world, and sometimes I give talks about hacking as well. You can find some of those on YouTube. I've done a number of talks on anti-forensic stuff, both memory and disk forensics. So all kinds of fun stuff. Oh yeah, big ups to Darknet Diaries. We were on their podcast a couple weeks ago, maybe a couple months ago. I don't know. 2020 is like,
it is freaking amazing.
Just an eternal time stretch. But yes, I'm a longtime Darknet Diaries fan, and we feel very fortunate to have been on their podcast. Jack is super awesome. So yeah, I guess that's pretty much it for me. Also, I have a mustache.
Oh yeah, that's right, you do. Oh my God, thank you for pointing that out. Okay.
The most important part.
Let's bring down our most special guest of the night. He is, I'm gonna let him introduce himself, but we'd just please give him a round of virtual applause. Here he is, the legend, John Hammond.
Hello, everybody. That was a super flattering intro. Thank you so much. I'm just happy to be here. I'm happy to hang out with everyone.
Fucking Chad.
Ed Sheeran, that's right. It's either Ed Sheeran or Seth Rogen. I guess or the Jurassic Park reference, right? I get all of them.
Nice. Welcome. Do you want to introduce yourself? Do you think you need to introduce yourself?
Yeah, sure. Hi, my name is John Hammond. I'm just a dude. I'm just a friend. I don't know. I have a cheesy YouTube channel where I like to showcase cybersecurity, capture the flag write-ups, and video solutions. And I do, research and fun stuff. I like to learn, I like to share, and I like to play and have fun. And I hope to bring that to everyone else. So very happy and very excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me with you.
Of course,
Yeah,
I
thanks for
think you
joining
also
us.
do have a very caring relationship with Try Hack Me as well, right?
Oh yeah, no, man, we've been. This is an extremely busy month. Like with all the holidays, everyone's got their own, hacking Christmas, hacking the holidays. So there's so much going on. Try Hack Me as their Advent of Cyber. Sans is doing their holiday hack challenge. HackerOne just put out their Christmas with the Grinch, I think. Everything. It's all awesome.
Oh
If
yeah,
you
right.
haven't
Sorry.
already, go freaking play Try Hack Me. Okay, thank you.
That reminded me, I totally forgot that we have a new dual core song on Sans Holiday Hack Challenge for their yearly CTF. So if you were
Ooh,
looking for a new dual core song, there you go for free.
I was jamming
that's
out during
fancy.
the countdown.
Thanks.
I love your stuff, Dual Core. I'm fanboying a little bit over here.
Oh, thank you so much. We totally appreciate it.
Back off.
It's
I'm just kidding.
yeah, we have a blast making the music, and it's always a wild reminder, or just a surprise to me, I guess, to see other people enjoying our music. I think I forget who it was. Somebody posted on Twitter a link to a random upload of all the things on YouTube, and it wasn't from us. It's just somebody that put the song up, but it's got like 400,000 streams on it, and I was like, oh my gosh, like people are listening to our music. It's just mind blowing to me because it's like C64 is like just a dude in the UK making beats and doing the mixing and the artwork, and I'm just a guy here that is writing and recording raps, and it's wild that people all over the internet are listening to our music. So. But yeah, anyway, sorry. I didn't mean to go off on a music tangent too far.
And Teddy, you did play yesterday's qualifying, right?
Yeah. So for folks that are joining us for the first time, what the setup is with UHC is that there's a qualifying round on Saturdays, and then the finales are tonight, Sundays, and they take the players that finish in the top 10, and then those are the folks that you see play tonight. So I actually had not checked out the prelims before. I see the finals every week, right? But I took a shot at the prelims last night, and it was super fun. I didn't even get my first flag. I started too late, I think. But the prelims, they had a Wonder CMS or Wonderful CMS, I can't remember which, but just a web app that was up, and the scoreboard just tells you like go to this URL. So you go to the URL, and then it's got like it says something like login, and your password is some password. But then when you click the login link, it doesn't go anywhere. It's 404. And so I was like, okay, I just need to figure out like where the login link is, right? So I was, like running normal web enumeration stuff, FUF with certain word lists and everything. And I did some more fingerprinting, like looking into the app itself, and looked at the headers, nothing much in the headers. Through some of the other strings in the responses, I could tell like, oh, okay, it's this particular CMS. And then looking through the source code, the CMS is published on GitHub. So looking through the source code, I saw that they have a default theme that ships with the CMS. And then in there's a file that's got the version number. So then I was able to see, okay, it's version 3.0.8. And then I went and looked back through the commit log, because I think the current version is like 3.1.4 or 3.1.1 or something like that. And there were definitely some published vulns for 3.1.1 at least. So being 3.0.8, it's possible that those 3.1.1 vulns definitely affect the 3.0.8 code base. But going through the GitHub commit log, I also saw that somebody had submitted a patch for an SSRF, and there wasn't like a proof of concept for the SSRF, but I'm a big fan of SSRF. So going through the commit, I was able to find like, okay, they're just doing like a stir pause on in the PHP code, looking to see if github.com or gitlab.com were in the URL that was supplied. And the application was running on an EC2 instance. So EC2 famously has its whatever, I forget what the I is, but the metadata service where you can get like access credentials out of that, right? So then I was trying to find my way there. But anyways, I definitely did not place in the top 10. And even if I did, I would still be here in this seat tonight.
But we did have 10 players that went, got to score and come to our final rounds. And we're going to learn about them right now. So let me share my screen, and here we go. So this is our 22nd edition, 22nd people, 22 weeks already of UHC. Crazy. That's a lot of UHC, y'all. All right, so first we have Hafa X00. I think we already had him before because the name is familiar.
Yeah, I think they were on maybe last week or the week before, I want to say.
Yeah. Not a newcomer, but also not a super experienced player. So, all right, we have João Ribeiro, the favorite player from Dual Course favorite player. Because he cannot, for the love of God, say the name of this kid in Portuguese.
Yeah, I just say John Rivers.
That's better than me. I mean, I would still be at a complete loss as I am.
Do you want to try, John?
I don't even want to butcher it. I don't want to do that injustice.
For y'all to know, is João Ribeiro. That's the name of the kid. João. That's the rapper sound. Ribeiro. That means you can literally translate João to English as John, because that's a very common name. And Ribeiro means something by the river, or like a house by the river, or anything by the river, actually. So that's John Rivers for us now. We translated the kid's name.
Much easier. I'll refer to him by John Rivers too.
Yes, play it safe.
And he is already a veteran here on UHC because we see him every week here playing. We have Bigos, also a veteran, also has played a lot of UHCs before. Not a newcomer at all. We have Josué. I don't think we've seen him before, did we?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
No.
There was like a different similar name, I feel like. But also, you know, these are hackers, so they might switch handles. It could be the same person just under a different handle.
That is true. So might or might not be a newcomer.
But good luck, Josué. We wish you the best.
We wish you the best. And we also have Wade. I mean, Wade finally came back to UHC. Wade is one of our favorite players. There's a lot of Team Wades out there. And he is a very brilliant kid. He doesn't hold a record, right? It's Celesian and Kawade who hold records, right?
Right. But didn't Wade win last week?
I see some in the chat. Wade was clutch last week.
Ooh.
Yes.
Is that right?
All right.
Yeah, I think he won last week. And we thought that I thought that Celesian was going to pull it out because Celesian appeared further ahead in the kill chain, but just didn't manage to pull out those flags.
That's right. Wade is a champion. I think it's... Oh, okay. So we now have another champion, Celesian. Celesian is a champion with a record. He finished everything in like 40 minutes, I think, or 50 minutes tops, which was insane to see. It was IPSEX week. Celesian was already a very good player. He already had won UHC before. I really like the way he plays because he plays just like an esport. He usually goes for easy flag on early game and then medium flag and mid game. And he finishes up with root flag on late game, which for me, as an esports fan, as a gamer, I just find that adorable. But on IPSEX week, he really freaking loves IPSEX, so he wanted to impress, and he finished the entire CTF in 40 minutes. So that was pretty impressive.
Burns through it. That's
the other one holding a record is Kawe. He finished everything in less than 30 minutes. It was like 20 minutes or something. It was really fast.
25 minutes. And it was all like AWS stuff. It was really impressive.
I'm super excited.
And we have Ricardo as well. Ricardo, or Ricardo as you want to call it. He is also not a newcomer. He has played around a few times. Okay, so we have another Ricardo, I think.
Doppelganger? I love it.
No,
this
Ricardo's
one is
got
Ricardo
two
InfoSec.
He's
the double hack,
one
like one keyboard, one hand.
Yes, yeah, one keyboard on the left hand, one keyboard on the right hand, or maybe text to speech on the other computer. Or speech to
triple hack.
Yes.
B's playing tonight. B usually is either playing, or if he's not playing, he's commentating on the Brazilian live. And if he's not commentating, he's helping build the machines for the CTF. This kid is just I freaking love this kid. So yes, I do. I am not partial at all. Fuck partiality here.
Yeah, B is also really impressive. He's younger and he's ran through several of the UHCs, and also we have to, when we switch over at the end to do like the debrief and run down all the solutions, he will walk through his solutions in Portuguese and then cut over to English seamlessly and translate everything perfectly, and then go right back to Portuguese for the next section. So I always love seeing B.
All right, and I think that's it. No, we also have PHX, which we do believe it's Phoenix. And I think this is the third time that he has been playing CTF, the UHC CTF, right? Or fourth time. I don't know. He's not a newcomer.
Definitely returning. Yep.
All right, these are our 10 players of the night, and I do have I do heard from the staff that the CTF is already on, so I'm going to share my Twitch stream here real quick.
I see everyone is off to the races. I see some W fuzz already flying.
Nice.
Kids do not lose time.
Oh no.
All right, so we are on. UHC is now officially on. And that's it, y'all. Let's see some hacking.
All right,
So, yeah,
who are we looking at first?
Yeah, we're looking at Joao Rivero, or John Rivers. And as you mentioned, John Hammond, W Fuzz already going. Looks like we've got Burp Suite up. And yeah, generally the challenges will start with some kind of web application, right? And the flag can be anywhere in the app, but usually we start with the web app as opposed to like finding some other service to interact with to begin. Looks like there's something in the, I guess, the email parameter for this GET request that they're going to mess with here in Burp. So. Go ahead.
Just so y'all know, which I think is important to tell you all right now, we do have a store here on Twitch, and if you go to the store, you can buy a lot of things, such as you can buy time off the scoreboard to interfere with the player's strategies. You can also buy time from someone's from any player's screen, so you have like a time of like 3 minutes of a player's on screen. As a rule, and that may be used to help another player submit flags, so we're not looking into the other player submitting flags, or that can also be made to delay some player to actually submit the flags because they don't want to submit it while we are streaming. So you can buy all kind of crazy stuff. You can buy hints, for example. There's up to 2 or 3 hints, if I'm not mistaken. But the staff, as long as you buy the hint, the staff decides at what period in time of the CTF the hints are going to come out. So you can buy all kinds of stuff to play around with the CTF strategy here. So go to the store, go have fun. You can also make donations to the channel if you like UHC. And that's pretty much it. And you can also play around with the CTF, even if you're not actually playing it.
That's a good wrench in the works.
Yeah, I love turning off the scoreboard in CTFs. When I've made CTFs in the past, it was always fun to turn things off, and you'd have players that would inevitably squat flags, and then they submit at the last minute. So you turn the scoreboard off, and they wouldn't even be on the scoreboard, or they would bubble up through the ranks, and you turn it back on at the end, and all of a sudden they're in first place or at the top.
I see some interesting stuff going on the screen here. It looks like he's using some double curly braces to try to do some template injection, and then the page yelled at him, "Hey, sorry."
Yeah, I see that. So, and then interesting server string there, right? So, to me, when I see that worksig, I'm not sure how it's pronounced, but when I see that, I usually think it's like the Python-M simple HTTP server, right? Because we saw that the version for Python was 2.7. So in Python 3, it's -m http.server, I think is the module that you would run with. But with the 2.7 version, it's simple HTTP server. And I think that that's the server string that that's advertised when running the service in that way.
Sorry, you have been blocked. I wonder, is that WorkZerg? I think that's still the same runner for Flask, right? Kind of that micro framework in Python.
Yeah. So right, yeah. So maybe we're looking at a Flask application, and interesting to see. Like, so you called out the SSTI, right? The server-side template injection, and generally that's like my first payload that I go with trying to fingerprint that way is the double curly braces 7x7. See if I get like a 49 somewhere in the output. But then there was like a message rejection display there. So that makes me wonder if there's some kind of like server-side filtering or something like that that's maybe trying to block that particular payload.
A WAF, a little like web application firewall, right?
Yeah, quite possibly.
I've seen some cool challenges where they're like, you can abuse the WAF itself if like it is not secure, because oftentimes, sure, you can throw like a cross-site scripting vulnerability, but if it like shows the parameter that you tried to inject that cross-site scripting attack into, maybe you could do XSS in that parameter name, and you just trigger it on the WAF itself, which is kind of neat.
Yeah, and I think wasn't the Capital One breach allegedly a misconfigured WAF as the first step that then like proxied whatever? I think there was like a header you could supply that then like proxied that request on, and that's what allowed the alleged intruder to get access to the metadata service and then get credentials to start pulling stuff out of the S3 buckets.
All right, so just another heads up for y'all. We also have bets going on. So if you want to bet on any of our players tonight, you can type !points or !contest.
First blood.
Ooh.
Holy
I do
crap,
see
that
on
was
the
fast.
scoreboard.
Who was it?
I see B on the scoreboard with 100 points.
Nice.
Yes, B.
Way to go, B.
All right. If y'all want to bet on B, there you go.
You got to see B as a hacker, because then you start seeing like the artifacts that they leave behind. It's just like scripts of the B movie as a good joke.
Holy moly, kid. That was fast. That was like 10 minutes in?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow. Damn. Is this going to be a fast one?
Yeah, let's see. It's always impressive to me. Like, I feel like I, make it through systems pretty quickly when I'm hacking, but I'm definitely not at the speed of the players on UHC. That is for sure.
I love watching it. It's so frantic.
Yeah, and I forget while we're here commenting on things that we are not in the driver's seat playing. And when I would play CTFs, it's like so much more pressure, right? I'm like, what are the other players doing? Like, who's got this much progress or whatever? So yeah, it's kind of nice having that layer of separation right now.
I get this like weird backseat driving anxiety. I'm like, no, I want you to try this payload, try this, and I'm like screaming at my screen.
Yes. Yeah, that was with the same experience with MCO My hosting with us a few weeks ago. We were like watching somebody do something, and we're like, "Oh, they've got it. They just, all they have to do is like run this one thing," and then they like didn't do it, and we're like, "Come on, just run the thing, do it."
Also, just so all you know, you can bet on the Discord room numbers here, as you see. So if you want to bet on B, for example, he is number 10 tonight. PHX Phoenix is number 9. Ricardo Infosec, the newcomer, is number 8. Ricardo, the other Ricardo, the one that is not a newcomer, is number 7. Celesian is number 6. Wade is number 5. Josué, the newcomer, is number 4. Vinicius, is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Is number 3. John Rivers, João Ribeiro, is number 2. And Rafael is number 1. So now you know, if you want to bet your Twitch points, you can now vote on the numbers of the kids here on the Discord rooms. And that's it. Good luck to y'all. It's a nice reminder. At the last hour, if I'm not mistaken, or the last 30 or 40 minutes of the championship, the bets go down. So if you don't bet till then, you can't bet anymore.
Yes, and I did not know that last week, so I would have put in another bet, and I did
Trying
not
to bet,
get a
and it's
chance
too late.
to.
Oops.
Let's see. Also wanted to mention California pointed out in the chat that the Discord link is expired, and I tried to post a permanent link for the Discord, but it did not go through because the Nightbot doesn't like me. A-Dubs is betting 5 on you, John. Don't let him down.
Uh-oh. I saw the VPN key come flying. Maybe I should just jump in.
Yes, there
a
you
little
go.
too far behind now.
I bet 80 on B, so we'll see how it goes. I bet last week on Celesian, and I did not win. But I think you get coins as you like the more time that you're in the chat. So for folks that want to get more coins to do things, just hang out in the chat and watch with us. So let's see. We're still watching B right now? Is that where we're on?
B is the only one that has found that recon flag so far. So I'm bummed we missed it. We are going to go over the solutions at the end here. Is that right? That's
right. Yep. So there's a separate stream that's running, which is the Brazilian stream. And that's where the creators of the CTF are. And so at the end, what we do is once everything's over, we raid the Brazilian stream, and then we get a run through of what the challenges were and how to solve them, both in Portuguese and in English.
Awesome. I see B making a list of like, hey, the things that seem to be triggering that web application firewall. I think it's sensitive to that underscore, it looks like. Any special characters might just get in the way.
Yeah, and maybe that's as we were kind of speculating earlier about a WAF, maybe that's something that's in its filtering list. B running FUF is actually my favorite for web enumeration. John, do you have a preference? What's your go-to?
I tend to stick with GoBuster kind of to get started, just to kind of get the lay of the land. But I love FUF because you can just put whatever you want to fuzz wherever you want in whatever you're doing with the web request. The fact that you can just, hey, spit fuzz in all caps and it just fills it in. I love being able to do that with headers or with cookies or with anything. So I tend to do that as like the next step.
Nice. And do you have any like favorites for wordless sources?
Yeah, I tend to be sticking with SecList. Just the very same thing I see B using right there. I see the whole dump of, hey, okay, some fuzzing strings from Skull Securities, from some good stuff from Jadix. There's plenty to pull from in there, so that's a big one. How about you?
Yeah, same. I usually start with like the Raft wordless from the SecList repo, and then Jay Haddix has a couple wordless that he's published, one for like DNS enumeration and then one for content discovery. So I'll cut over to the Jay Haddix content discovery one if I'm not getting anything from Raft. And that's kind of what bit me last night. Was I should have started small. The login URL that I needed was actually in the common.txt. And that's like one of my go-tos if I play like VulnHub or Hack the Box. I tend to start there, and I just didn't do it. I've seen Raft be really effective on UHC in the past, and so I went with like all the Raft wordless, and then I went over to Jay Haddix. And again, I started late, so that also kind of worked against me as well.
I see in B's terminal right there, just WTF. I couldn't tell if that was an intentional command or not, but
yeah, we should all have like a WTF alias in our bash RC or whatever our shell RC is.
What is your favorite, like your alias to sudo? Is it like please or F?
Yeah, do it.
Yep.
Yeah, I've always enjoyed seeing when I like get on systems and I go through the history files, seeing people like mistype things and then run it again is sudo. Always fun.
That's the best part. Yeah, looking through the history, seeing what gems are in there.
Yeah, I feel like the eventual like AI that figures out what all humans are like, one of its like models and data sources is going to be history files from systems.
I see a couple new players on the scoreboard. I see our John Rivers. I see Ricardo again with the 100, getting the recon flag.
Nice. Let's take a look at Ricardo.
All right.
Ricardo and see what they're doing.
Congrats to João and Ricardo as well. Both of them got the easy flag. That's 3 players in our scoreboard. That's a really nice number for us to have now. Do you want to see Ricardo or do you want to see John?
Let's see Ricardo, please. And I did see somebody ask earlier how many flags there were tonight, and there are 3 flags. The first one is an easy flag, and then the last 2 are listed as hard flags. So we'll see. We've definitely had weeks where players get 1 flag, and then they don't make it, to the other flags, and the CTF ends after 3 hours. And in those cases, whoever got the flag first, they end up as the winner. So it very well could be that it comes out with B tonight in first place, and everybody's on the board with 100 points.
If y'all want to check the scoreboard, the link is on the screen right now.
Yes, the UHC. Sorry, go ahead.
No. I said I love seeing the payload all the things repo up.
Yes, big fan. Every time I run out of ideas on what I should put in for injections or whatever, that's my first stop is payload all the things.
Yep.
And much appreciation for everybody that has contributed to that repo, because it has got a lot of good stuff in there.
Those are definitely, I feel like, some just like absolute have-tos. Those are the musts between payload all the things, between GTFO bins, all the LOLBAS repos. Those are incredible.
Absolutely. And we've seen a number of weeks where the player will get on a system and their privesc is through like a LOL bin or a GTFO bin or something like that. And so always really cool to see players kind of hone in on that and cut over right away, figure out their privesc, and then end up getting root and then pulling the last flag. Super cool. And I don't know about you, but in my experience, that's been the way to go. Like my red team experience has been working my way through networks in the same fashion that the systems are designed to communicate with each other. It's very rare that I end up running some kind of like memory corruption exploit or anything like that. Generally, I just find some way that the system is supposed to talk with some other system. In the cases where I'm on a box that doesn't communicate, it doesn't advance me towards my objective, I just kind of bail off of that box and I backtrack and kind of work my way through some other way. But I feel like there's always some way that the systems talk to each other, and it's pretty rare that I've got to go to an actual exploit.
Yeah. For today's Try Hack Me like Advent of Cyber event and gimmick, I tried to showcase some like a dirty cow exploit for an old, outdated, super duper deprecated kernel. And I was like a little wishy-washy with that because yeah, sure, maybe you might find that in the real world because we don't live in the perfect world where everything is up to date and everything's patched. But at the same time, sometimes I look at the GTFO bins and I think like, oh, well, those are just too easy. Maybe that's not real world. But there are still system administrators, right? There are still business owners that are like, hey, I've got to connect this thing. I've got to be able to do this quick functionality. And they'll just make something set UID binary, or they'll make something run a sudo. And maybe I think that is pretty plausible.
Absolutely. It's all, I always think like, oh, we're in the year 2020 and, surely everything is patched and people are running in, securely designed architectures or whatever. And yeah, it's not the case. Bad surprises. But like I kind of do the same thing with when I play Hack the Box. I'll try to look at when the box was actually published so that way I'm not running like the newest flashy window exploit against it or Windows exploit or whatever when the box came out, 2 years ago or something like that, right? I try to play it in the vein that it was intended to be played. All right, let's see. Who else was on the board? Did you say?
The Justin Rivers, Ricardo.
Right.
That's it so far.
Why don't we take a look at John Rivers and see what they're up to?
That's right.
J Riv for sure. All right.
Oh, the classic Discord load, right?
Right. Yeah. You never know when you're just going to get the spinning blocks. I keep wishing it would do the like Bongo Cat GameCube, intro thing, but no, we get a binary star on our screen. That's it. All right. Yeah. Maybe we'll try somebody else. Why don't we look at Josue? See if their stream loads.
Wait, I'm gonna try again. Let's see if I can try this.
Going for
again.
raft.
This is the toughest part of the CTF is getting the player screens up.
Ooh,
That's
Celesian
actually
just
like
got on the board with 100.
oh nice.
Celesian. Let's see this kid. Let's see.
Yeah,
how
let's
he's
see what
doing.
Celesian is up to because
What's up, Celesian?
I feel like once he gets a foothold, he's like off to the races.
Yeah, then the floodgates open, right?
Yes. And you know that I'm well familiar with that feeling of trying different things, you know, all week or whatever, multiple days, and then nothing's really hitting, nothing like super crazy. And then finally I get, you know, one good shell and then just like I keep pulling the thread and everything unravels. It's amazing.
Wade is up here too. He just got on the board.
Nice.
So how often are you in Burp Suite?
All
Are you
right.
pretty stoked for this whole Burp Suite dark theme or something? Or I thought I saw a tweet that they were changing the interface pretty soon.
Yeah, actually, I've seen. I think Celesian last week had a dark mode on Burp going, and we didn't realize it first, or maybe it was a week before that, but we didn't realize at first that it was Burp that was up. We're like, what is this that they're running? And it was just Burp in dark mode. I personally, I would like to see better performance than the UI rework, but I don't do anything, you know, too heavy in Burp. So I love seeing folks post like, oh, here's my like 46 gigabyte Burp session file, or like showing their like Process Explorer with you know, Burp running with like 24 gigs of RAM getting eaten up.
I'm weird. I tend to stay away from Burp and just try to do things, hey, with DevTools, with curl, with Python as much as I can. Oh, I see B using Rust Scan. That's neat.
Oh yeah. I learned about Ruscan playing Hack the Box maybe only like a month or two ago. So definitely learning all kinds of stuff.
It's so funny seeing everything now being rewritten in Rust. Like, we got to make it faster.
Yeah. I like honestly, I'm a fan of even like rewriting the core utils in a memory safe language, right? Like I feel like Rust, there's kind of some ways you can do some unsafe things still, but writing the core utils in a memory safe language and then removing all of that entire class of memory corruption exploits out of it.
I don't think anyone's gotten past this WAF or the little block message yet.
Yeah. It's been a long time since I did any SSTI stuff. I feel like in the past you can turn that into code exec in certain situations, right?
Yes, yeah, definitely. If you get SSTI in Flask as kind of as our example here with Jinja, you could totally use Python and climb the MRO. So you can be able to reach stuff like subprocess if it happens to be imported. You can reach stuff like URL-lib, which is actually super duper handy because you can give URL-lib like a file schema, and then you have local file inclusion, and then you can read whatever you want on the server. So SSTI can be pretty full of carnage, like if you find it. I wonder what it is to get past this WAF though. I wonder if that's like double encoding or what is the sweet spot here?
Yeah, excellent question. And one thing I haven't noticed yet is where this is hosted. Traditionally, Kadu tends to build out the infrastructure on AWS. And so if it were running on AWS, my guess would then be that they're using the WAF service that's cloud native in AWS. But I haven't seen any evidence yet that they are on AWS. So I'm not 100% sure.
What is your cloud hosting provider service of choice? Are you an AWS fan? Are you Azure or Google Cloud?
I have experience with GCP, AWS, and DigitalOcean. I haven't done any stuff in Azure yet, but you know, I feel like the whole thing about cloud stuff is really kind of just wrapping your mind around that entire separate plane, right? And so the way that I think about cloud stuff is trying to attack at the like cloud service level, as opposed to getting inside of like the EC2 instances as an example, getting inside the VPS. And I tend to see people think about things still in that traditional network model. So they're like, how are the instances, how are the VPSs deployed? What's running inside the VPS? And as an attacker, I tend to be less concerned about that and more thinking of how can I make, users or roles or something inside of the account that I can then go and have full access to any resources or update policies inside of the account. That's generally how I think about it. What about for you?
I'm sitting on my mute button here. Yeah, I feel like I started with DigitalOcean, and because that was like nice as an interface. Because I'm talking, I guess, in the building case, not to break it or to attack just yet. Because we've been trying to host our own like capture the flag stuff. So we started with DigitalOcean, and then would like put together load balancers and front end and web or back end stuff to host Docker containers as challenges and host the CTFD scoreboard. Now we've moved to Google Cloud Platform because the Kubernetes integration is actually nice. And Kubernetes is, I think, doing good stuff. Ooh, I see B is putting together something interesting here.
Yeah, kind of walking the chain, right? Kind of pulling, getting, I guess, further access in. I've definitely, in the past, I had a Python challenge that I made, and it was just 3 lambdas, and it kind of did this like introspection into objects in Python to basically build out the primitives for outputting to the screen and reading input from the player, and then doing the comparison of like, did they enter the flag? And there was like a bunch of underscores and a bunch of like brackets, and that was like pretty much it. There was no like actual regular looking Python that you would see.
No. All right, so we have 2 other players in our scoreboard now. Rafael Santos and Josué, the newcomer,
Excellent.
got to the scoreboard as well. So now we have 7 players with 100 points. All of them got the easy flag. That's pretty nice. And we're 15 minutes away from mid-game.
Yeah.
So we still have a few minutes for the 3 other ones to jump on board in the scoreboard.
B looks confident. B looks like he started as Netcat listener. He typed an oof. Looks like he's got the semblance of a payload, but it's not quite there. I don't know if he needs a little HTTP schema on that curl command.
Oh yeah, quite possibly. And or maybe curl isn't on the system that would be running the command.
All right, now we'll try to go to, looks like request bin, hook bin or something, just to see if we could get any proof that there is code execution going for sleep, to see if we can make it wait.
Yeah, always a cool approach, except I'm impatient, so I hate doing sleep because I'm like, I don't want to wait for this. Come on, just like tell me right away it's working. Give me some immediate indication.
Oh, we got a stinking CAPTCHA on request bin. That's frustrating. Slowing us down.
Oh, rip. Yeah, and this is where, having like a separate DigitalOcean instance or something like that is great, because you can just spin your listener there and have the open access, and you'll know immediately if you get a hit, or something like ngrok, right? And ngrok can handle all of that networking for you.
I need to learn a little bit more about ngrok. Honestly, I've left that over in the corner in my mind and haven't given it the time of day yet. But I've seen it in some cool situations now as like actually being used, like in the case of malware, to try and like tunnel and exfiltrate data out. So like, I need to get smart on ngrok.
Yeah, I definitely like it as a service. I haven't really used it much, but I love the premise that you can just say, please give me a listener that will connect to whatever it is that I've got on the other side. And then you can catch shells that way, or connections from whatever. And you get, TLS, I think, as well. So that's a bonus. I've always like on the cloud side, when I do C2, one of my favorite ways to do it is with like a Lambda and then API gateway. And then if I've got some storage, I can do like S3 bucket or DynamoDB or something like that. But with API gateway, you get that same, like you get HTTPS. So the traffic looks totes legit going on the wire, and it hits, Lambda. So it's serverless. So there isn't really like anything to pop there. It's not like, somebody's going to find my C2 and like put persistence on or put an implant on like an EC2 instance or anything like that. So I don't know, like I always thought that approach was like really nice. But yeah, let's see. I haven't seen B try anything that wasn't curl yet. I didn't notice whether the sleep 10 actually manifested or not, to see if they've got the setup right.
I didn't see the sleep go through either. I'm not positive about that curl, but I mean, I might be wrong there. I don't know if he needs the HTTP schema. Either way, it's not seeing something come back with his little netcat listener. Looks like, okay, we're trying to get some at least a primitive for a reverse shell, going for bash.
Yep.
I think the tripping point with that bash syntax is that it has to already be running from bash. So if it's going to end up being invoked from like sh, it just dies. It just doesn't do it. So oftentimes I feel like you need like a bash tax C just prepended at the beginning to actually make that go through. Oh, but we'll base 64 encode it. Let's see what that does. Avoid the annoying characters that might be sensitive.
That, and also bypass the WAF potentially, right?
For sure.
I've definitely had to. That's my usually my workflow is like I'll try this regular bash shell, and if that doesn't work, then my next step is to wrap that run in a bash-c, just like you said. Let's see here. Yeah, all right. So setting up the encoded payload and then piping it for a decode. Let's check in on Celesian. No one's looking at Celesian, and I'm curious to see what he's got going on right now.
Yeah, I'm bebopping around. No one else has moved on the scoreboard.
Yeah, just a quick reminder, y'all. We do have the bets going still, and we do have our store up. So if you want to mess around with the players' strategies, you can go to the store and you can buy time from any player's screen to see here on our stream. Or you can put the scoreboard down so no one can see, even the players. And you can do all kinds of crazy stuff there on the store to mess around with the CTF strategy, even if you're not actually playing it. And we do have the bets going on right now, so you can bet till I think we have one more hour available of bets, and the last hour is going to be locked for bets. So if you haven't betted yet, you can go there. It's always done. It's everything done with Twitch points, of course. But you can bet in any of the players. And remembering, you gotta go for the number of the room they are in Discord. So number 1 is Rafael, the newcomer. Number 2 is John Rivers, João Ribeiro. Number 3 is Vinicius. Number 4 is Josué, the other newcomer. Number 5 is Wade. Number 6 is Celesian. Number 7 is Ricardo. Number 8 is the other Ricardo Infosec. Number 9 is PHX, Phoenix, we think. And number 10, B. All right.
And those are all for your bets. So that if you got the coins, put them up. I'm watching Celesian right now, and I just noticed he's got his request in burp repeater, and on the right side in the response it said Cloudflare. So it looks like the application is behind Cloudflare currently. Is my take on it.
I saw a couple Google searches for hey Python SSTI Cloudflare bypass. So
nice.
The quick on the fly research. Oh, goodness.
Yeah, very representative of hacking, right? How many times have you been in a situation where you encounter some application or service that you've never seen or even heard of before, and you just start looking things up online?
That's where the real learning comes in, though. When you're like banging your head against the wall and you got whatever adrenaline to kind of keep pushing you forward, you got to keep winning on the scoreboard.
For sure. We got to get that shell. In my last job, our original director would just come by and be like, "You got a shell yet? You got a shell yet? You have a shell yet?" Like, no, I'm working on it. Chill out. But yeah, so I do see folks on Twitter post different WAF bypasses for different vulnerability types or exploits, right? So that also might be a data source to consider if you are playing a CTF or you're doing bug bounty and you're looking at some kind of WAF that is blocking your payloads. Searching on Twitter as well can be a good source of information. Yeah, I asked Jeeves,
bug bounty tips, right?
Yes, hashtag bug bounty tips. Hashtag bug bounty tips. Just get tens of thousands of dollars. Yep. That's my hashtag bug bounty tip. When I think of Ask Jeeves, I think of Jenkins. Nice. Ask Jeeves for free remote code execution, please. All right, so let's see. Yeah, we got Celesian looking at different template payloads, different ways that you can pass in input and then have it get processed as code execution.
I'm taking a look at Wade right now, and he had a little interesting idea. Like, all right, I'm going through the Python Workzerg GitHub to see, like, are there any issues? Are there any pull requests that are talking about some security issue? Trying to look through the change log. That's one good technique.
And yeah, excellent. That was something I got to do last night. Playing the prelim round was going through the commit log on the target application. I found an SSRF that had been patched, and I think in searching like exploit DB and doing like search exploit, they did not have that SSRF listed. So it's kind of cool, like finding vulnerabilities in that way, and the code doesn't lie; it's right there. All right, so yeah, Wade still messing around with the SSTI, also hitting that, Cloudflare WAF. Oh man, I totally feel the pain.
Yeah, everyone seems to be stuck at the wall, but trying different techniques, trying all these different approaches to get something to break through that.
Let's see. We haven't looked at Ricardo InfoSec yet. Let's take a look and see what they're up to. And very common, Burp Pro is allowed. There's no restrictions on whether you can use a paid or requirement to use open source tooling or anything like that. So if you've got a Burp Pro license, by all means, go for it and let it rip. I don't think we've had any reversing challenges, but if we did, like, and somebody had an IDA Pro license, like, by all means, do it. Let's see. All right, so we're looking at Ricardo InfoSec, and they are looking up request smuggling stuff. I haven't actually messed with request smuggling. John, have you done any work with that?
I guess I get a little wishy-washy here, because when people talk about like request smuggling and HTTP smuggling, I'm also hearing that as like defined as like a drive-by download thing where you force something to come through. My understanding of the definition of request smuggling might miss the mark just because I hear so many different things.
Right. Yeah. My information about request smuggling is all from #BugBountyTips, so I don't trust it.
I read about it on Wikipedia, and they tell me not to trust it. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember briefly looking it up when I first saw, maybe Portswigger or Albino Wax post about it. And then I haven't used it at all. So I definitely don't know enough to feel competent commenting about it in any way. Let's see. So yeah, I mean, folks on the stream, y'all are witnessing real life hacking. This is exactly what it looks like.
Frantic Googling.
Yep, we just spend time looking things up and reading and being like, "Oh, does this work?" Like, I don't know.
I've just seen chat here on the chat, like, man, if y'all can add some like music and cheerleaders and commercials, I can see these on ESPN. And we're like, well, not everything is glamorous in hacking. Most of the time we're just looking for stuff. We're just Googling stuff.
Yeah.
But if you like to see actual real hacking going on, if you would like, to see this become an esport, just as we would like, because hacking esports do go for turning CTF to an esport on the long term, please don't forget to subscribe to the Twitch channel as well, so you can get notifications on when the live is on, so you don't miss any episodes, y'all.
Could you imagine you turn on like ESPN and it's just people Googling?
There's like a terminal parrot or a cowsay just flying by.
Or like somebody ran some like buffer overflow and their terminal is all like messed up.
Oh yeah, I love that technique when you're doing like a little King of the Hill game or some active stuff where there are other players. You just cat dev random into their terminal.
Yep,
that's my favorite.
Oh my, yes, competitive Googling. That's Googling. Oh man. Yes, null pixel. We turn on ESPN and we see LeBron James typing into Google how to shoot basketball. there's a LeBron that's like, how do I shot basketball?
That's awesome.
Oh, I think we are having a Brazilian raid here. All the Brazilians are showing up in our stream. Just say hi to John.
Oh, hi, everyone.
We just witnessed the flag get submitted too. Ricardo InfoSec now on the board.
Oh,
they found it. So the flag was in the response that came back after they managed to bypass the WAF. That was pretty dope.
Oh, heck yeah.
That's how we do it.
Was that bypassing the WAF, or was that at the very, very bottom of the HTML source code? I guess I didn't see it.
Yeah, it was at the bottom of the source code, but it looked like they had a SQL injection payload in there in the burp repeater, and so it's weird because it's like an SSTI. I was not expecting a SQL injection to get that first flag.
If there is anything that I've learned, it is you have to try absolutely everything, no matter what it is, no matter how crazy the idea is. You have to try everything, or else you regret that you didn't.
You never know, kids. You never know.
I definitely have had that time. I had like a job doing application security, and I would like work, and I'd like work on music stuff, and then I'd go to bed and it'd be like 2 a.m. and I'm like laying down and I'd be like, oh, I could try this. And I would just like immediately get up and run to my laptop and be like, oh, let me try this thing.
And sometimes it's the easiest stuff, it's the most basic ones. Like when I do physical pen tests or even just phishing as a social engineer, I kind of I go for the basic things first. And I do literally mean like asking people about their passwords. And sometimes it works. People just tell me their passwords right away. And I'm like, okay, that was way easier than I thought. Sometimes I spend like days thinking about how I'm going to get this target. I'm going to study where their kids go to school. I'm going to study which college they went to. And at the end of the day, is just trying to, ask for the password. And sometimes you get it. So yeah, try everything. You never know.
I'm lazy, so I try to go for the lowest hanging fruit first, but there are many times where I have overthought something and I go way down the rabbit hole unnecessarily. If we look at Celesian, it looks like they're kind of on the same track as B right now, working through the injection. I think they've got what looks like a reliable payload, and now they're just trying to figure out how to get the shell. I peeked in on B, and B was trying reverse shells with different shells and not bash, if I saw correctly. But I guess now we're gonna watch CyberChef load up.
I liked all those messages. It looked like a little like Sims reticulating splines gimmick there.
Yes. Do you use CyberChef much, John?
I do, admittedly. I mean, actually, a lot of people tell me like, John, you need to use CyberChef more because it's like friendly for folks that are, I don't know, trying to get the hang of this thing that might not immediately recognize, oh, that's base 58, Right. So I think it's definitely good to showcase and to use because it makes it so easy. And that magic function can save the day sometimes. It can figure it out, and that's awesome.
Absolutely. And I'm certainly guilty of forgetting about CyberChef and then only going to it after I've exhausted so many other things. And it would have, like you said, it would have saved the day right away if I had just thought to go to it earlier. So it looks like Celesian's got something that's cooking up here. So they're converting just to the binary hex representation here. This \x represents you've got a byte, and then the two characters are each your nibbles, which then compose the byte. And so here we go, testing the payload to see if we get a sleep 5.
Oh, awesome! I'm hope we get the sleep. Ooh! It looks like it does not respond.
That looks like a pretty strong pause of at least 5 seconds. So okay. I think Celesian's onto something here. I might be so inclined as to wager a little more coin on Celesian at the moment.
So
Somebody else take over so I can go bet.
I think you're inducing everyone to play around their bets.
So what do you think would kind of be your move here? It's not like it's PHP, so we couldn't get a shell down. We couldn't get like a upload or get a .php script up there. If we have code execution, I mean, we should be going for this reverse shell, but none of them seem to come through.
Right. Yeah. So I guess kind of egress busting would be my next thing. And honestly, since you're running in Python, I would actually just try going with like a native Python reverse shell, and maybe even like wrap it, right? So you do like your reverse shell, but you put it in like a loop, and you just have like port ranges, right? And so you just like loop through a list of or iterate through a list of ports, and you have a listener or several listeners set up, and then just see what connects. And I think that's the way that I would go here, given that it's a CTF and I'm not necessarily worried about making too much noise. What about you?
Yeah, I would be trying some of the things that I see. Who are we on right now? Celesian. I would be trying to see if I could get the ping back. I would just be probably reaffirming myself, like, okay, do I actually have code execution? Can I see the netcat response come back? He's still not getting something all the way through, but we know we had sleep. Oh!
There it is. And as a root shell.
There it is.
All right. So
going for a quick stabilize.
The next thing that I would have thought was try different ports, right? So like sometimes 1337, 55, 55, 44, 44, those get blocked. But yeah, so we've right now we're seeing Celesian just landed the reverse shell, and getting a flag.
That's
amazing.
Awesome.
Yes.
I love that. I like the frantic typing of trying to get stabilizing that shell.
Yes.
Oh, that was awesome.
All right.
That was so pretty. That's my boy Celesian coming mid game.
Yes, yeah, you're right.
The second flag.
And he root. Like he can do some damage now. You don't even have to prevest. You're already root.
Yeah.
All right. And we just began mid game. We are just now entered our second hour, and allegedly we have still 1 hour to go. If Celesian doesn't end the championship in the next 10 minutes, I guess.
So the gimmick here, right, that we see is that there is a .docker env file. So yes, we may be root, but it looks like we're inside of a Docker container. So we don't have real root on the actual target. We're just trapped in a container right now.
Yep, great call. And the host name could also be a potential signal there as well. Although I wouldn't necessarily trust that. Given what these CTF creators do sometimes, I could totally see you being on a regular host and it just looks like you're in a Docker container. It just sends you down the wrong path just by the host name. All right, so yeah, what we just saw was Celesian figured out a WAF bypass using CyberChef. So this got their payload around the web application firewall, and then their payload was rendered through a server-side template injection vulnerability. That got them code exec, and what they did was they initiated a shell into their attack system, and that shell connected, and now they have a root shell on the remote system that they have been targeting.
So now we're trying to do the Docker escape. And
yes,
traditionally in my mind, this is hard to do because you have to kind of hope that there are a lot of already misconfigurations set. Like if that Docker instance was created improperly with some extra permissions, or if for some reason somehow you can invoke Docker through that container. I always tend to struggle with this unless you see some other misconfiguration, like, oh, it's copying backup files in and out of the container. It's hard to get back to the host when you're trapped inside this little jail here.
Yeah, and Docker and container breakouts, not necessarily Docker, but just container breakouts in general are somewhere that I am not particularly experienced. So I would be Googling quite a bit right now if somebody were watching me. In the chat, I saw Haraz asked about how to bet, and it's a number that's associated to the player's name. Celesian is 6, B is 10. but then you can bet your coins after that. So looks like folks are figuring it out. That's cool. But yeah, John, I'm right there with you. You know, like I always enjoy seeing container breakouts. I just don't have much experience with them, so I think that makes me appreciate them that much more. So we're looking at the services that are listening right now. Notice netstat command not found. SS, I think I don't know if it's supposed to be a replacement for netstat, but I've also been in this situation as well where I get on a box, I want to see what other hosts or IPs or whatever that the system I'm on is communicating with, and I run netstat and it's not there. Same with like ifconfig, right? You go to run ifconfig and you want to see your IP addresses or your interfaces, and like no results. And so having a better understanding or being able to look up what do I do? What's up?
Yeah, John, I see you asking in the comment section if the scoreboard requires login now. No, it means they got the scoreboard down. Someone bought time off the scoreboard.
Ooh. I like that. That was neat.
Oh.
I was monitoring and I was like, okay, I don't have eyes on the game right now. I can't see who's doing what. I wanted to see if anyone else would catch up and get shell access.
Now we don't know. Now we wait for, I think it's 5 or 10 minutes, if I'm not mistaken. 5 minutes, 10 minutes. The staff can correct me if I'm wrong. It's either 5 or 10 minutes.
I've always thought it would be hilarious if somebody else that we weren't watching got like the root flag, finished out all the flags, and then we turned back on the scoreboard. It's like, oh, it's over. Oh, it's been over for like 8 minutes and we just didn't know.
We can go to other people's screen to check it out if there's someone submitting flags. I see John is having a look on B, keeping a look on B. That's smart.
I see him going through the cyber chef magic, or kind of getting the hex encoded representation of his payload. So he's getting close.
Yep. Yeah. Looking at B right now, exactly the same thing that we saw with the encoding. And
there's also Wade, which is he is also someone that we should probably not ignore at all.
Oh yeah, let's take a look at Wade.
We have a few big players here, and this time of scoreboard down, we actually have no idea if someone's gonna win or tie with the Celesian, or what the heck's going on, people?
Yeah, it looks like Wade is looking up bypasses for the SSTI. And I feel like this is kind of a grind portion, right? Because you've got to go through all these different payload encodings to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work. And it's not the easiest thing to script, but it's a repetitive task. So it's like, it can be super annoying to manually send all these requests to figure out what is actually going to be the way.
I've always wanted to have something. Oh, sorry. No, go ahead.
No, please. Yeah, go ahead.
I was thinking, like you kind of mentioned, like obviously it would be awesome if we could script this, but it's just so hard because it's so subjective. Every single time we see this bug or this vulnerability, or any flaw that we want to abuse, it'd be cool to have the Swiss Army knife, but it's just so hard because it's so contextual every single time.
Definitely. And, sometimes I get stuck with what the encoding needs to be, and sometimes the programming language takes care of it for me. As an example, I'm playing a Hack the Box right now, and I've got an XXE, and I've proven that the XXE works, and I need like a file read off of the system. And the encoding that I've got for my payload is not working, or at least it wasn't working when I put it manually in Burp. And I did like a couple different encoding types or attempts. But when I submit it, so I end up writing a script in Python. And when I submit it using the post method in the request module, it does the encoding perfectly and it works just fine. And so in that situation, going to Python and actually scripting it out ended up being the way to go, as opposed to like trying to manually figure it out in Burp.
That's what I'm telling you. I love avoiding Burp as much as I can.
Yes. All right. Let's see. So we've got. I love in the chat. You're not hacking unless you have at least 15 Chrome tabs open.
Yeah.
Also, your computer is not running if you have 15 Chrome tabs open.
We are not looking at B. So I know John is here with us. John is watching Celesian. Ent80 is here on Wade's screen with me, and no one's looking at B. So if B submits anything right now, we do not know because of the freaking scoreboard down.
Yeah, we might be in this for a surprise. Oh, scoreboard is back.
Okay. Is it?
B is in second place, and right, because B got the first flag first, right? Okay, that makes sense. And then Celesian got the flag. So no changes yet in the scoreboard.
I see
8 players on the board. Sorry, go ahead.
I see in B's notes he has this little message like, "Okay, I'm getting sad now. Like I just haven't broken through yet."
Okay. So the scoreboard actually did not change. So I'm going to just show the scoreboard to everyone real quick.
Nice.
Just as soon as I get my grip. All right. So here it is, y'all. This is the scoreboard right now. So we have Celesian first. So B was first actually, and Celesian got the advantage now with the was it the medium flag that he submitted? Yes, right?
Well, there's one easy and two hard, and he submitted the lower point value of the two hard flags.
All right, and then we have John, Ricardo, Wade, Rafael, Josue, and Ricardo Infosec, all of them with 100 points. Here's the thing: in UHC, you do have the advantage if you get the points first. So even if someone ties with the other, and at the end no one can submit the last flag, it's okay because Celesian would still be the winner if that was the case. If there was a tie. So the one that submits first is the one that takes the championship home.
So on a quick refresh, I see B has just submitted something and he's up at 300 points now.
Yep, I just saw B get the flag.
Awesome.
And
Yeah.
Also typed in me RN and had a big sad face in the browser.
What did I told you? No one was watching B at the time.
I was watching. I saw it.
Checking out Celesian, he is looking at some GitHub tool for hopefully a little scripted weaponized Docker escape utility. But he's like, hey, I don't have wget. I don't have curl. I'm stuck in this Docker container. But he can run apt. So he was able to just apt install wget. And now he is trying to put together hopefully this little weaponized script to perform that Docker escape, but still not quite getting it.
Excellent. Yeah, and installing new tools is something we've seen players do. Particularly in UHC, the players tend to have an affinity for ripgrep RG, and so we'll see players like get on a box and they'll be like RG looking for the flags or looking around or whatever, and it's not there, and they just install it, which is not something that I would go for in a normal engagement, but CTF and speed matters, and ripgrep absolutely is fast. All right, I'm unfamiliar with this particular. Oh wait, let's see. Is this the run C overwrite?
Are you looking at Celesian right now?
Yes. Yeah. Sorry.
Over on B, I see him trying to run linpeas, which he hasn't quite, I don't think, got all together. But Celesian is still looking up, the Docker run C potential vulnerability he could use.
Nice.
No one else is in the running with shell access just yet.
Oh, no one else. Sorry, I thought you said someone else.
Sorry, no.
I was like, oh my gosh.
I hope you don't mind me shoutcasting, but this is fun now. we're running.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is for me, this is where I get super excited because I love seeing people hands-on keyboard with a shell working on it. No Vim inside of the container. I'm looking at Celesian currently. And just as we were talking about. As we were talking about installing things, they are apt-getting Vim and maybe Nmap as well.
We are neck and neck with two folks with shell access. Now just trying to figure out how we can break out of that container. So it's cool. We got some action on both sides here.
Yes. Yeah. And this is both players are very skilled. I've seen them both do excellent things. So honestly, I don't know who's going to pull this one out, and it could be anybody really. I know some of the other folks like Wade has won in the past. They've definitely got skills that they could make this happen. So curious to see what happens.
Marina, do you mind hopping over to Celesian's screen? Looks like he's trying to prepare a payload, little shell script that he might be able to pass to that Docker escape utility. That'll just get him another reverse shell, hopefully in the context of the host. And I'm not positive if it'll work just yet.
Yeah, good question. IPSEC asking in the chat, has anyone checked to see if it's a privileged container yet? And I haven't caught anyone on screen doing any checks for what capabilities the container is running with currently. But it doesn't mean that they haven't done it and we just missed it because we were switching around a bit. But yeah, great point, right? Check to see the privileges or the capabilities that the container is running with, that you might be able to use those and break out. I remember when the run C overwrite exploit came out, I happened to be in Brazil and I went to a like red team meetup thing at one of the banks, I think maybe Itaú, I want to say. And the dude that wrote the exploit was there.
No, it was New Bank, wasn't it? The purple bank?
Yeah, maybe it was New Bank. I can't remember.
New Bank, yes.
Looks like an interesting technique from Celesian right now. He's getting Nmap in to see if there are any other hosts that this Docker container might be able to reach. I don't know if he could look at etc. hosts if he's lucky, if there's anything in there, or just look around with Nmap and see what else could this thing access that I might need to latch onto.
Yeah, good point. I like to go for reads in this kind of situation when it's not a CTF, and use something like SS or netstat or something like that. But yeah, in CTF, by all means, whatever goes the fastest and gets you to your objective for sure. I remember I was in an interview once and they asked me, like, what would you do once you get a shell on a system? And I went through all these different things, the things I look at. And after I got off the call, I was like, oh my God, I forgot to mention netstat. Like, there's no way they're going to hire me.
There's a long checklist, having that committed to memory is kind of hard sometimes.
Oh, for sure. And yeah, exactly. Right. Like, I like seeing people with like, they've got like multi-tiered notes and people have like mind maps and all that stuff. And by all means, like, let the computer do that work. Don't put all that tax on your brain. Just look things up instead of having to memorize them for sure. Let's see. All right. So I don't know, maybe Celesian was having a VPN issue there. It looked like they disconnected and reconnected the VPN.
Yeah,
maybe.
It bounced that connection.
Just so y'all know, it is picture time. So if you want to take a picture of us or take a screenshot of us and, add us at Twitter or Instagram, this is the time. So we're gonna real quick perk up, look pretty.
Look like yeah. Put the makeup in the hair.
Yes.
Staff, are y'all ready? Because we're gonna have our picture time in a few. Shit, my fucking keyboard just died. Okay, so
so we're not having picture time.
God fucking damn it!
Right?
Okay, so let's go back real quick to the game till I can fix my my screenshot, my keyboard.
We'll have a second round of picture time.
Wait.
Yes. Or maybe that was like a red herring and they actually did take pictures. They were like, "Ha, we caught you off guard." One of my favorite, like I love, like, oh, my keyboard died. I don't know, like 10 years ago, that wasn't a thing, right? I always love the joke about like, hey man, do you have a USB port that I can use? Because I got to charge my book. And it's like, nah, sorry, I'm charging my cigarette. The future is stupid.
All right, now we're ready. Are y'all ready for the picture?
Yes, I've got my drink of choice tonight, not vodka.
Okay, so I'm gonna have my drink of choice here.
Oh boy.
And there you go.
Awkward silence on the stream.
Yeah. Also, my
Or
screen
dead air.
froze.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
A little
No.
burpee there.
No form of entertainment is complete unless you make your audience feel uncomfortable at some point. That's true rapper knowledge.
Aw, they did chat smile. Aw, you're so fucking sweet.
All right, I'm actually. Let's take a look at B. I want to see, like, we've been watching Celesian. They're trying to work their way out of this container. B's also in the container and working through it. Looks like B's got W get installed. Oh, nice. Chisel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Chisel, a favorite of mine.
He's been trying to, I think, prep linpeas to be able to run and do some quick, privilege escalation and look for some enumeration like routes, but I don't think he's got it all together just yet. So now we're going for Chisel.
Nice. Marina, could you drop down to B and we'll show the viewers what's going on there?
Let's take a look at B. So for those who don't know, if you're Team B, you gotta type bzz at the chat. Just so y'all know.
I've never seen
That's
this
what the
bash
Brazilians do.
Oh yeah,
that's super nice.
This is new to me as well. Excuse me, my goodness, rude. Could not make it to my mute button in time.
That's not.
Oh, he's stuck in a little copy paste right now.
Oh.
All that base 64 trying to load in the terminal.
Oh man. I just the other night I logged into a VPS that I have on DigitalOcean using the like backend console access, and it totally got jacked up, and I was struggling for a bit to get it reset to actually printing regular ASCII characters and not the craziness on screen. It looked like the Matrix. So yeah, John, have you ever run linpeas inside of a container? Will it find a breakout? I don't know that I've ever tried that.
I have ran it in a Docker container before, and it'll immediately notify you like, hey, I see the .docker env file, and I know that I'm in a container, but I haven't seen it been able to like go ahead and execute a breakout. It might give you some links. It might give you some suggestions as to like where to go and what to try. But again, there are a lot of preconditions that have to be met to understand, okay, how is this container started where you could latch onto, or what could you abuse to actually break out?
Yeah, excellent.
All right,
folks in the chat.
So
sorry, go ahead.
We do have a question. Someone bought a question for us to answer. All right. So EAX, I guess, tipped 10. Thank you, EAX. And the question is, any advice on getting good at hacking? I've watched IPSec and John's videos and taken notes. Well, that's all I do. It's watch videos. And when I start Hack the Box and I can't find a way in, I give up in 10 minutes. Then I go back to watching videos. My confidence is low. Oh boy, if you're giving up at like that soon of frustration, maybe you're not getting hacking on the path of going for the passion and not for the result itself, going for the journey and not the result itself. So I would say go for the journey. You gotta go because you would like to learn new stuff. You would like to fail because you want to understand the point of failure. And that's pretty much hacking. Like we've seen here, the kids trying to submit, the kids, going up and down and around. And it's just trial, error and trial. As you can see, this is real hacking happening here right now. People Googling stuff they don't know. And that's pretty much it. You got to go past the point of frustration because it's all about the learning aspect of it and not, the actual breaking into system and popping shells. Y'all
what's
have
your
anything
take there?
else to say?
I would echo that, and it's hard advice to hear, and it's tough to listen to. But I mean, that's the reality of it. Is that's where the most learning comes from, and that's how it happens. Is we talk about all the time, like, hey, all the cool, high flying, flashy stuff that goes on when we're like popping shells and escalating the route and all that, but no one ever talks about how much fail there is in hacking, how much you spend time banging your head against the wall because you're just trying to find what will work, and that might take hours and that might take days, and it sucks. But that honestly, you just embrace it. You just use that opportunity to explore more and research more and read and learn more, and that's how it happens. I think that's the best way, is to practice and play and to tinker, and don't get discouraged. Just have fun with it.
One thing that I'll add that's kind of a different take is that I like to play boxes that have already been solved, right? So if you've got VIP with Hack the Box, or if you just play like Phone Hub as an example, play systems that already have solutions. And if you get frustrated, if your point is to learn quickly, then just go look at the solutions when you get stuck, right? Try the things that you know, build out your map or your list of ideas and everything. But then when you get stuck, like, go look at a solution and then like internalize what you're getting out of that, right? Don't just like do the solution just to like get past being stuck, but actually like make sure you take away that learning experience. And so as the more that you hack, the more that you play CTF, the more that you establish patterns that you'll start to identify. And so when you'll play some future CTF or some target some system on Hack the Box or play a VM in Von Hub, you'll realize like, oh, I'm doing the same thing that I did previously, and here's what I did previously, and take good notes, right? Because then you can go look up what you did in the past. Like, none of us have all of the knowledge in our heads, right? We see the players looking things up online. I go back and look at my notes all the time. It's like it's an important aspect, is to capture what you're learning as you do it. And so I would say, like, play things that have already been solved, and don't feel bad about looking things up, looking up the answers. You know, your whole point is to learn and then continue moving forward. Obviously, like in a CTF like this, you can't go look up the answers, but at least that'll help you build skills. And then the other thing that I just want to add in is, when you see videos from John or from IPSEC, these are videos that were made already. They've already solved these problems in a lot of cases, and they've done editing, right? So if you see a video go through and the entire thing gets hacked in like 30 minutes, there's like editing that went in, right? You're not seeing all the failures in there necessarily. And so it might be a 30-minute video, but there might have been like 6 hours of playing on that one box or trying one thing that didn't work, or like trying to get a particular flag. So keep that in mind as well. Like what you end up seeing as the end deliverable isn't necessarily representative of all the work that went into it. So those are my tips.
Sorry, I didn't mean to completely derail.
Yep.
Could we take a look at Celesian's screen?
Yes.
And if I'm butchering the name, totally forgive me, please. So his Nmap results internally just kind of came back, and he sees that the Docker port is open. Nice. And that might be something he could latch onto. He's trying to see if he could get a static binary of Docker or just be able to pull it down. Need a period, docker.io, I think.
Yes. Yeah, I actually, I always have to look up how to install Docker, because their first step on the Community Edition website is to uninstall Docker if you've installed it through apt. And they're like, this is how you do it. I think you have to like add a separate repository or something like that, and then pull from their own. But oh yeah, so here you go. You got a Docker static binary.
All right, yeah, he's running now. He knows he's got something. He's running.
Nice. Yeah, and IPSEC in the chat saying you can also ping the multicast address. And John, you were mentioning doing the ARP stuff as well.
Okay.
So yeah, super cool. I feel like Celesian or B is going to pull it out here in like the next few minutes. I think they're really, really close.
It is on Celesian's fingertips right now.
It's like it's going to be there. All right. All right.
Oh my.
Slowly.
Oh my. Is he going to make it?
Is looking good. Is looking
Not
good.
Volume.
We are literally mid-game. We're literally in the middle of the game. We still would have an hour and 30 minutes to go, but Celesian may end the CTF in the next 5 to 10 minutes.
So this is something that I think you can find on GTF Opens now that you kind of got Docker on it, but you'll have to tell it like, okay, I need to specify this host, because he was able to see that port for the Docker TCP service. So he can leverage this. And he definitely knows that. He's searching right now to see what's the sweet sauce, what's the magic syntax where I can mount the file system and been able to gain access to it.
Yes. Yep. I just wanted to say Jaden in the chat, and I think they got it on the Twitch already, but these are systems that were built just for this CTF. And so the players are working their way through. There's a number of flags as you compromise different parts of the system. The first part was a web application, and then they ended up in this Docker container. And I think now they're going for a breakout of the container is what it's looking like. We don't necessarily know. Sorry.
Yeah, just so y'all know, we don't actually know the flags. We are just commenting on exactly what we're also watching with y'all on the screen right now.
Yep, we're kind of backseat hacking, as it were.
Oh, okay. Harris asked, "What's the number of the players for the bets again?" I wonder why. I wonder if
you can
y'all
only
gonna bet on
once,
Celesian now.
but yeah, let's see. We got Celesian is number 6. That's who we're watching right now. B is number 10. B was the first person to get a flag. And John says that B is also looking at the Docker escape. So yeah, if it were me, I would go with either number 6 or number 10.
Let me tell all the
Celesian.
ones so people can actually choose.
I'm just trying to help you get coins, you dear viewer.
We have Rafael in the first room, so number 1. Number 2 is John Rivers, João Ribeiro. Number 3 is Vinicius. Number 4 is Josué, the newcomer. Number 5 is Wade. Wade is also a UHC champion already. He won a few UHCs. Number 6 is Celesian, the one who is leading the scoreboard right now with 300 points. He only has one last flag to go. Number 7 is Ricardo. Number 8 is Ricardo Infosec. Number 9 gave up or dropped out. And number 10 is B in second place with also 300 points, just one less flag to go. And he was also the first one to score tonight. So there you go. Now you know about all of them.
This is definitely a race between B and Celesian right now.
Yes, yeah. I love when it comes down to the wire like this. Super cool. I'm watching B. It looks like B is trying to connect to the TCP port for Docker. They've got Netcat installed in the container, and they're trying to make the connection to the TCP port. And it looks like Celesian is doing the same thing. So, woo! Like, what's gonna happen?
Ooh. Celesian looks like he was able to successfully copy some private keys with SSH.
Yes. All right.
And now he may very well be able to SSH into it if he was able to successfully pull these down.
Let's see. Oh, cannot connect.
Terminal's starting to fall on itself.
And yeah, we did see when Celesian got that reverse shell, they did do the terminal fixing, PTY spawn and STTY.
He's trying not to lose the shell. It's falling apart.
Yeah.
But if he has those private keys, he could very well SSH with that private key to the original host.
Yep. Yeah, once those SSH keys are compromised, then you're in pretty good shape. Barring, some other network layer of control or something.
His shell broke. He's trying to get it all back. All right. Back in bash.
Nice. See, this is why I like to have good notes, because if my shell ended, I would be in trouble.
Oh, yeah, he had to retrace all of the steps all the way from the initial access.
Right. Oh, yeah, right. And let's see. I wonder if the stuff that they installed is still there. It looks maybe not, because they're doing an apt-get now. Let's see what it installs. Huh?
he's getting the open SSH client now, so we can be able to SSH from the command line and hopefully get through to that main system here.
Yeah. Woo. All right. I've not done a container breakout in this way, so I'm I'm excited to see if this works. Let's see. Oh, right. Yeah. IPSec mentioned that Celesian fixed the TTY the first time, but potentially not after having restarted the VPN. So that that might have been the crumbling of that shell that we just saw.
Trying to run the sudo command, but it's not in Docker.
Yeah.
Tripping over that.
Yeah. Well, you're root, so you don't need to, so that's okay.
Okay, so he's going to try and pull those keys back down one more time.
Yes, let's get it. Get those keys.
I'm not positive if that's successful or not. Well, let's take a look. Oh. There's not a whole lot of output from that Docker copy command, so I don't know if because he ran SSH keygen, he may have just created his very own keys and not successfully pulled the ones from the actual host there.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, I actually alias my like MV and CP and RM commands to a -v flag so that I can see what happened. Some
Always
number
gotta
of
have
years ago.
verbose mode.
Yeah, I moved some files somewhere and I was like, where did they go? I like typoed something.
He sees it in .sh in
Nice.
his temp file. Now he's just going to go
Can you
straight for the flag.
Can you imagine if
There it
someone
is.
There it is.
shuts down the
might be it.
right
You
now?
did it.
Oh, no, this is the same flag as before.
Is
It's
it?
not,
It is.
It's not it. No, nope.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
So now, so he's got like an arbitrary file access, right? But I would be going for the shell so I could look around and look for the flag. In this case, it looks like the flag is not at /flag, or maybe it's not being accessed correctly. Oh no!
Oh, goodness.
Oh.
So I think a good sanity check right now would be to try and pull etc. password so you can at least see, okay, are the users different? Do I know I'm on a real machine other than just a Docker container?
Yep. Yeah.
This would kind of throw me for a loop here.
For some, like you said, some kind of sanity check that just verifies, am I actually doing the right thing? Yeah, IPSec, exactly right. The dangers of competition and being in a rush, for sure.
Oh, man. This always makes you choke a little bit.
Yeah, I've definitely have gotten
That's
like
it.
times where there it is.
That's it. So he ended up pulling his own image.
oh,
And that's game.
yes, he got it.
Incredible.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Congrats.
Woohoo! All right.
Oh,
So he
excellent.
so
Oh boy.
trying to step that back. He had the Docker privileges himself and he could have just created his own container to get back to the original file system. Is that right?
That's what it looked like. Yeah, I didn't 100% catch it because I was jumping down to B as well to see where B was at. But when I looked at the screen, it looked like, just like you said, right, they pulled the own image.
That was
So-
amazing, Celesian,
Congrats.
and with only 15 minutes left, so we would reach late game. And I'm seeing here, and the second hint was just posted. The hint from the second flag. So the other players were now running after the second flag. And boy, Celesian just killed it right at the right time. So just so y'all know, we are now jumping to the Brazilian live. So we're gonna interview Celesian, and we're gonna talk with Cadu. He is the the dude that builds up all the flags. So we're gonna understand how all of those flags were submitted, and the right way to do it. So please stay with us. The Brazilian stream is both in Portuguese and English, so bear with us. We're going to try to translate everything in real time to two very different languages. So that's going to be very crazy, but please stay with us. And we're just going to raid to the other channel, so don't be afraid as soon as we're going to change the channel. So stay with us. We're going to interview the winner. We're going to interview the CTF creator and also the flag developers as well, the challengers, the developers as well. And that's pretty much it, y'all. I'm just staff. If you want to raid, that's the time.
All will be revealed.
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
Right.
Just let us know, staff, as soon as